Hello and welcome to BizRun. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate our paid time off management capabilities as well as supervisor approval workflow. In this case, I'm logged in as Arista, who is a department manager, and Arista has not only supervisor permissions, she also has admin permissions. We're going to show an example of how one of her direct reports, an employee, Callie, requests time off and is in fact has it approved. So I'm also logged in as Callie. So I have another Chrome instance open. So Callie is logged in, and Callie can request vacation time, sick leave in two ways. This is the desktop view, and if I scroll over her picture and click on the small pencil, it reveals several ribbons. And one of the drop downs here, one of the ribbons is request time off. I simply click on that. And in this screen, she'll be able to put in her start date, her end date, look at her time off balance, as well as look at a time off calendar. She can also request time off on a mobile phone. I have a simulation of a mobile phone going here, and the small dot on the screen is simulating my finger on a touch screen. So I could come down, scroll down through here, request time off, and up comes a similar interface. But we're going to work in this video through the desktop interface. So from a start date, I'm going to put in, let's see, I want to take off from June 4th, and I'm going to put in, I have a lot of time off in my bank of hours. So I'm going to take off quite a bit of time here. I'm going to go from June 4th through July 3rd. I'm going to click that. The type is going to be vacation. And so now what the system is calculating, they're saying, hey, you've requested 176 hours, and it's also alerting the employee that they were going to have to borrow some time to meet this request, and that borrowed time is against time that Callie will accrue between now and the end of the year, or between now and the end of her anniversary date. In addition, it's also showing the employee through these thumbnail sketches pictures of employees that already have that time off. So with BizRun, I can determine if there are any scheduling conflicts between myself and my peers and the folks that are on my team. And this will help me to make some decisions whether I want to actually take that time off. In certain circumstances, it may be that one of my teammates is off, and if they are, I can't take the same time off. Also on the screen here is a balance report. So here I can always see my balances. Also, I can click on a time off calendar. And with this time off calendar, I can select virtually any dates. Right now, it's showing the dates that I've entered, June 4th through July 3rd, for me and a couple level subordinates. I could take this out and say, let's look all the way through the end of the year and see what everybody's approved time off is already. So now I can tell, oh, here's everybody on my team and my peers, what dates they have already approved. So I can select a date that maybe doesn't conflict with theirs. All right, so let's come back to this example. One more thing I want to show you is this borrow time doesn't prevent the employee from submitting their time card, but it alerts the employee that they're going to be borrowing time. Their supervisor would also see this. And so if you have a company policy that you cannot borrow against your accrued time, then automatically the employee would know, hey, I shouldn't submit this request. If I extend this out just a little bit further, I'm going to extend this out to the 20th. Now I know this is a little bit of an exaggerated example, but now what this is going to show, the system is calculating that, oh, okay, Callie, not only are you borrowing time against time that you will accrue, but you're also going to be over time, which means you'll never accrue that amount of time. So these are warnings, again, that the employee gets, that they shouldn't submit this time unless company policy allows for it. So I'm going to go back and make this a little bit more of a reasonable time period. So I'm going to go back to June And between the 4th, I'm going to take 2 weeks off. So the end date is going to be June 15th. You can see now that that's 80 hours. I have those 80 hours. I'm looking here at the employees who already have that time off, and I'm thinking, hey, this is going to be okay. There's no conflict with any of the people that are on my exact team. I can put some comments in here. I'm going to say, going to California, to the beach, and those comments will go along with this request, and I'm going to go ahead and submit this. So I submit this request. Over on the right-hand side of my screen here in my pending or outbox, we can see here's the request that I've just submitted. You can see the notes going to California, to the beach. It's been submitted. If I wanted to, I could review the details again, or if I needed to, if I had made a mistake, I could withdraw this request and in fact start all over again. But we're going to let this go through to my supervisor, Arista. So I'm going to come back to the view where we have Arista. So Arista is my supervisor, and I can be notified that Callie has submitted a request in 3 different ways. One is through my email. Here's an approval request for time off. So I click on that, and this is telling me that Callie has requested some time off that I need to approve. If I wasn't logged into BizRun, I could simply click on this blue link, and that would log me in. If I have my mobile phone open, and I'm a supervisor, I'm going to have the ability to see approvals. So if I were to click on approvals, this is going to show me the request from Callie. So I can view this on my mobile phone or on my desktop. Once I have my application open, here in my active tab or my inbox, I can see the request from Callie. And so now I can see it's 80 hours. I can view the details. If I click on that, I can view the details of the request. I can see if there's any schedule conflicts. I could view a time off calendar as we have seen before, or I could view Callie's balance report. So all that information is at my fingertips as a supervisor. I can see the notes that she shared with me. If, in fact, I knew something about these dates, such as there's going to be a company picnic that hasn't been announced yet, and I need to notify Callie, hey, can you rearrange your vacation to take another time off, I could simply put those comments in here and reject it. But I'm going to go ahead and submit this, I need to approve it. I'm going to go ahead and approve this time and submit it. And now, Callie, if I come back over to Callie's instance and I look on her email, there's a notification that her time off has been approved. And in fact, I could also then add this to either a company or shared calendar by simply clicking on this link. So this is going to bring up, for our demo environment, either I can assign this to Callie's calendar or I can assign it to a shared calendar. So either way works. So that may work out for your company. And this works within Google in this situation or with Microsoft Outlook. So let's come back to Arista. So that's a process of submitting a vacation time for approval and being reviewed and approved by a supervisor. One other instance that happens quite a bit is what happens if an employee calls in sick. They can't get to their computer, they can't get to their mobile phone, they're in bed, but they do call into the office and they say, hey, I'm going to be out sick today. So we'll do an example here of another one of Arista's direct reports, which is Robert. If I click on Robert's profile, click the gear next to his name now. So he's called in and he said, hey, I'm sick, I can't come in today. So as her supervisor or as a designated admin, I select this date, select sick. I can see that he has 8 hours, and I can go ahead and submit it. And by me automatically submitting that as his supervisor or as a designated admin, that time off request is going to be approved. So that's a quick overview of our paid time off and review and approval requirements, or excuse me, our paid time off and approval workflow. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us. Thank you for viewing, and goodbye.